Hi viewers, welcome to our channel Max IELTS tutorial. If you are a first time viewer of a channel, then please subscribe our channel without fail. In a previous video, we had an overview of table completion, matching features and yes, no, not given type of questions. In this video, we shall explore true, false, not given, matching sentence headings and completing flowchart type of questions. You can pause the video and go through the passage and the questions that follow them. First, you can try solving the reading passage and then continue to watch the video to know the solution. I'll read the passage now and you can follow along with me. Secrets of the swamp. Insects, birds, and fish tend to be the creatures that humans feel furthest from. Unlike many mammals, they do not engage in human like behavior. The way they swam or flock together does not usually get good press coverage either. Marching like worker ants might be a common simile for the city commuters. But it's a damaging, not positive image. Yet, a school of scientific theory suggests that these swamps might have a lot to teach us. American author Peter Miller explains, I used to think that individual ants knew where they were going and what they were supposed to do when they got there. But Deborah Jordan, a biologist at Stanford University, showed me that an ant does not make any sense except in terms of whole colony. Which makes us wonder if, as individuals, we don't serve a similar function for the companies where we work or the communities where we live. Ants are not intelligent by themselves. Yet, as a colony, they make wise decisions, as Jordan discovered during her research. There's no one ant making decisions or giving orders. Take food collecting, for example. No ant decides there's a lot of food around today. Lots of ants should go out to collect it. Instead, some forger ants go out and as soon as they find food, they pick it up and come back to the nest. At the entrance, they brush past reserve forages, sending a go out signal. The faster the forages come back, the more food there is, and the faster other forages go out until gradually the amount of food being brought back diminishes. An organic calculation has been made to answer the question, how many forages does the colony need today? And if something goes wrong, a hungry lizard prowling around for an ant snack, for instance, then a rush of ants returning without food sends waiting reserves a don't go out signal. But could such decentralized control work in a human organization? Miller visited a Texas gas company that has successfully applied formulas based on an ant colony behavior to optimize its factories and route its trucks. He explains if ant colonies had worked out a reliable way to identify the best routes between their nest and food source, the company managers figured why not take the advantage of that knowledge. So they came up with a computer model based on the self organizing principles of an ant colony. Data is fed into the model about deliveries needing to be made the next day, as well as things like weather conditions, and it produces a simulation determining the best route for the delivery lorries to take. Miller explains that he first really understood the impact that swarm behavior could have on humans when he read a study of honeybees by Tom Seeley. a biologist at Cornell University. The honeybee chooses as a group which new nest to move to. First, scout fly off to investigate multiple sites. When they return, they do a waggle dance for their spot, and the other scouts will then fly off and investigate it. Many bees go out, but none tries to compare all sites. Each reports back on just one. The more they like their site, the more vigorous and lengthy their wangle dance, and the more bees will choose to visit it. Gradually, the volume of bees build up towards one site. It's a system that ensures that support for the best site snowball and the decision is made in the most democratic way. Humans too can make clever decisions through diversity of knowledge and a little friendly competition. The best example of shared decision making that I witnessed during my research was a town meeting I attended in Vermont, where citizens met face to face to debate their annual budget, explains Miller. For group decision making to work well, you need a way to sort through the various options they propose, and you need a mechanism to narrow down these options. Citizens in Vermont control their municipal affairs by putting forward proposals or backing up other suggestions until a consensus is reached through a vote. As with the bees, the broad sampling of options before a decision is made will usually result in a compromise acceptable to all. The wisdom of the crowd makes a clever decision for the good of the group and leaves citizens feeling represented and respected. The internet is also an area where we are increasingly exhibiting swarm behavior without any physical contact. Miller compares a wiki website, for example, to a termite mound. Indirect collaboration is the key principle behind information sharing websites, just as it underlines the complex constructions that termite builds. Termites do not have an architect's blueprint or a grand construction scheme. They simply sense changes in their environment, as for example, when the mound's wall has been damaged, altering the circulation of air. They go to the site of the change and drop a grain of soil. When the next termite finds that grain, they drop theirs too. Slowly, without any kind of direct decision making, a new wall is built. A termite mound is this way is rather like a wiki website. Rather than meeting up and talking about what we want to post online, we just add to what someone, maybe a stranger on the other side of the world, already wrote. This indirect knowledge and sharing is now finding its way into the corridors of power. Let us observe the first set of questions. The initial set of questions are of true, false, and not given type. The given statement is a question must be marked as true if the statement agrees with the information in the text and must be marked as false if the statement contradicts the information in the text and must be marked as not given if there is no such information in the given text. Let us start off with the first question. Commuters are often compared favorably with worker ants. The author has written about commuters in Para A. He states that marching like worker ants might be a common simile for city commuters, but it's a damaging, not positive image. Now, we shall try matching the keywords in the sentence and the passage. The question states that it is compared favorably, whereas in the para, the author has mentioned that it is not positive, which is a contradiction. Hence, this statement must be marked as false. The second question is some ants within a colony have leadership roles. The author speaks about the ant simile in para B. The author states that There's no one ant making decisions or giving orders. You can see that this is a contradiction to the statement, as the statement mentions that ants have leadership roles, whereas the author says that there is no one ant making decision. Therefore, the statement must be marked as false. The third statement is Foja ants tell each others how far away the food source is. We have to skim through para C as the author has expressed about food collection in para C. But we don't find any such information. Hence, the third statement must be marked as not given. The fourth statement is Foja ants are able to react quickly to a dangerous situation. We shall skim through the same paragraph, that is, para C, as it is para C in which the author has written about Foja ants. The author states that, and if something goes wrong and a hungry lizard prowling around for an ant snack, for instance, then a rush of ants returning without food sends waiting reserves a don't go out signal. As the author's view is the same as the views expressed in the statement, we shall mark the statement as true. The fifth statement is termite mounds can be damaged by the wind. When you go through the reading passage, you find that it is para G that gives us the views of the author about termite. While skimming through the para does not convey any details about how the termite mound gets damaged. Hence, the statement must be marked as not given. The sixth statement states that termite repairs their mounds without directly communicating with each other. As mentioned earlier, it is para G that conveys details about termite. While going through where the mount's wall has been damaged, altering the circulation of air, they go to the site of the change, drop a grain of soil. When the next termite finds that grain, they drop theirs too. Slowly, without any kind of direct decision making, a new wall is built. So it is now clear that the author's view and the view expressed in the statements are the same. Hence, the statement must be marked as true. Now we are done with true, false, and not given type of questions. So we will move on to the next set of questions. It is completing sentence with correct endings. There are three questions given and five sentence endings. We are supposed to choose among these given options. The seventh question is managers working for a Texas gas company. When you skim through the reading passage, you can see that passage D is the one which gives us details about Miller's visit to the Texas gas company. So, our answer should be in this passage. The passage states that so they came up with a computer model based on the self organizing principles of an ant colony. When we go through the options, it is option C which is telling the same point. That is, it tells us that communicate with each other to decide who the leader will be. Eighth question states that citizens in an annual Vermont meeting, again, when you go through the reading passage, you can find that it is F that speaks about the Vermont meeting. The author says that for a group decision making to work well, you need a way to sort through the various options they propose, and you need a mechanism to narrow down these options. Citizens in Vermont control their municipal affairs by putting forward proposals or backing up other suggestions until a consensus is reached through a vote. Again, when we go through the options, it is option A that speaks about what happens during a Vermont meeting. So the answer goes like this. Citizens in an annual Vermont meeting provide support for each other's idea in order to reach the best outcome. Coming to the last question, the question states that some internet users in the reading passage, it is paragraph G that tells us about the internet. The author states that rather than meeting up and talking about what we want to post online, we just add to what someone, may be a stranger on the other side of the world, already wrote. Again, we should go through the options that are given. It is D that gives us the information about how data is being posted. Hence, the answer is some internet users contribute independently to the ideas of others they don't know. We are done with the completing sentence ending questions. Moving on to the next set of questions, it is completing the flowchart type of question. This given flowchart is about how honeybees choose a new nest. The 10th question is honeybee dash explores possible nest sites. It is passage E that states about how a honeybee chooses a new nest. Going through the passage states that first, scout fly off to investigate multiple sites. So the answer for the 10th question is honeybee scouts explore possible nest sites. 11th question is they perform what is known as the dash on their return. Coming back to the same passage, the passage states that when they return, they do a waggle dance for their spot. So the answer is they perform what is known as a waggle dance on their return. The next step has no blanks and it says that other bees go out and report back. The 12th question is enthusiasm and dash increases for a particular site. Skimming through the same para, the author states that gradually the volume of bees build up towards one site. So the answer is enthusiasm and volume increases for one particular site. The last question states that a final choice is reached using a dash process. Again, when we look through the same passage, the passage tells us it's a system that ensures that support for the best site snowballs and the decisions is made in the most democratic way. So, the answer is a final choice is reached using a democratic process. Hope you have got a clear idea of how to go about answering true, false, not given, completing sentence ending, and flowchart type of questions. If the video was informative, then like and share our video. In our next video, we shall discuss about multiple choice, matching information, and summary completion type of question. Subscribe our channel for more videos and click on the bell button to get notification of our future videos. You can also follow us on our Instagram and Facebook pages.